So in this video, you're going to learn how to organize your time for the week, how to make a goal, what your goal should be, and like how to achieve it. Okay. So it's kind of like a lot, but I am going to give it to you in bite-sized pieces. Okay. This arguably might be one of the more important trainings that you do because it's the basis of like keeping your sanity, especially if you're someone who wears a lot of hats, right? Which women, most of us wear a lot of hats. So background, if you don't know me, when I started Mary Kay, I was teaching high school math full time. I was a full-time graduate student working on my master's in the evenings, doing my thesis, that sort of stuff. I tutored on the side. I advised 6 different clubs at my high school. I was chaperoning everything. Like if I was in charge of it, I chaperoned it, all the things. I was my own wedding planner. So like I had to figure out how to organize my time or like nothing would get happened. Okay. So hopefully this serves you. And I think it will. Okay. Organizing. So the first thing is you got to know like what do you want out of your business? And maybe you're not 100% sure because maybe you're a new consultant right now and you're like, I don't know, anything would be great. Or some of you might have specific goals in mind. If you don't have a goal in mind, you need to think of one. Okay. And I kind of like to think of my goal based on like what I want to do for the month. Maybe it's how much you want to earn for the month. So for me, I joined because I needed money. Okay. Because I had none. So think about like if you want to earn $1,000 in the month, what does that look like for how much you need to sell for the month? And then like break that down into weekly and daily chunks. So if you want to make $1,000, that means you probably need to sell like $2,000, assuming you weren't giving any discounts, right? And then if you break that down, so if you want to do 2,000 in sales for the month, there's about 4 weeks in a month. So that means selling $500 a week. So then what's our daily activity going to look like to achieve that? Okay. So you really want to have a goal so then you can break down what you need to do on a weekly basis and a daily basis to achieve it. Okay. So 6 most important things list. And you might think that's a weird number, but there's been studies on it. Doing 6 things for your business each day. Don't do more than that because if you put more than 6 things down, you're probably, let me move my head out of here. Okay. If you have more than 6 things, you're probably not going to finish the list. Okay. And for me, I like to make this list at night before I go to bed. So then when I wake up the next morning, I already know exactly what things I need to do the next day. You might think, oh, I'll remember. No, you won't. Okay. I will forget it if I do not write it down. So you can do these on a Post-it note. I have a day planner. Where is it? I have the day planner from Court of Achievers in there. I'll turn to a clean page. Like they even have like a spot for your 6 most important things list, which is really nice. For me, I kind of like you writing it on a Post-it note sometimes because if I don't finish things, then I can move my Post-it note from day to day if need be. But most of the things you want on your 6 most important things list are income producing activities. So do I need to organize my inventory? Probably. Is it going to earn me money? No. Okay, so you want most of these things to be things that are going to move your business forward. And if you looked at my office right now, it's a mess. Okay, so it'll get done eventually, but the things that are income producing need to happen first. Okay, so here's your priority of things: getting new bookings. Okay, bookings are the lifeline of your business. You do not want snow blindness when you're looking at your day planner. You want to know that you've got people put into spots, all the things. Okay. So getting a new booking is always priority number 1. Even on my own personal to-do list, my personal bookings are my first thing that I need to tackle for the day. If I don't get a booking, I get a little anxious. Okay. For me, then the next is like a coaching appointment. That could be a few different things. That could be like talking to your hostess about who's coming, getting a list of guests from her that you can pre-profile. We'll talk about pre-profiling in a different video. Okay. But talking to the people you're going to be seeing. Okay. Team building, especially if you're someone who really wants to move up in the business, expanding just beyond the sales portion of it. If you're new, we do the things called the pearls of sharing, and it's to help you learn how to talk about the business because you might get a lot of questions. And when you hear your people ask me them, then you'll know how to field them when you get asked the question. Okay. So working on that. And plus, like, it's kind of selfish if we don't share this business. We have a freaking awesome business, right? So we want to share it with people. And then it's up to them to decide if it's for them or not, if they want to stay a customer or join your team or whatever. We want to give people the choice, not make it for them. Customer service calls or customer care calls, 2+2+2. What that means is 2 days after they get their product, you want to check in with them. And we'll do another video on that, but in a nutshell, it's like 2 days after you get the product, ask them like, hey, have you opened the box? Because sometimes they haven't. Okay. 2 weeks after you want to check in again, and then 2 months after you want to check in again. So that's what that 2+2+2 means. Working with your team, maybe you do have some teammates already. I don't know. Are you about to have some teammates? And you're like their cheerleader, right? So I'm the director, so I'm kind of like their head coach, and then you're their cheerleader, the captain, so to speak. So you want to help them see what they need assistance with. If there's anything I can do, I will, or my assistant. All right. And then anything else you need to do. Maybe you need to make some deliveries today. Maybe you need to schedule Facebook posts. Maybe you need to make some content for social media. I don't know. It could be literally anything else, but your list should be 6 things, no more. No more than 6 things. Okay. So here's some examples of some 6 most important things list. Making 10 booking attempts. So, and I'll show the bubble sheet in just a minute here. But reaching out to 10 different people for a booking attempt. And in another video, we go over, different ways to get bookings. Following up from guests from a previous event. So maybe you had someone at a bingo or on a glow sesh, or maybe you even had them at your own home for a session, checking in with them, that sort of thing. Maybe you're going to book some Pearl of Sharing chats. Got to earn your earrings, your necklace, your bracelet because you want the set. Okay. Making customer care calls, 2+2+2, but also like making sure, like, as the seasons change, like our skin changes, right? Like right now, as I'm making this video, it's winter. Everybody's dry. Even if you're oily, your skin is dry right now. Okay. So like checking in on your customers, seeing how they're doing. Do they need a new foundation shade? That sort of thing. When you do your preferred customer program, like sending them books in the mail, that will fit into your 6 most important things list. That's another training in its own. But those sort of things are customer care calls, checking in on your people, because we care. That's like what makes us stand apart from other businesses, is like if you go to like another store and you buy a product, they're not going to call you. Like, we want to make sure, do you love it? Because if they don't, we can swap it out for something else and it doesn't cost us anything, right? So it's amazing. Maybe you're someone who likes to have hostess packets made, like having like all the profile forms set in the envelope, having what their fun discounts are going to be that they're going to earn. And then, example 6, that everything else is like, maybe you need to make your goal poster or make a goal. What is your goal? Have you picked out your prize for the star quarter? That sort of thing. Maybe it's even rewatching a unit meeting because you're like, there were so many announcements, Danny, I need to rewatch those announcements. Okay. And those are on the YouTube channel as well. So another example could be booking 3 classes because you want to do your perfect start. So seeing 30 faces in your first month will be so huge for your business and for your confidence. So I recommend practice on 30 faces and tell me something amazing does not happen. Okay. Making 5 care calls. Maybe you want to get some new leads and you're going to make some facial boxes, right? Maybe inviting to a specific event that you have on your calendar. Maybe you're going to be brave and do a little warm chatter. You're going to go out to the store. Maybe you're going to go shopping anyway. You might as well put some, business cards or some beauty bags in your pocket to hand out. So those are just some examples of things that could be on your to-do list. Notice that it doesn't say dust off my shelves. Okay. These are mainly income producing activities. Okay. Getting your name up there. Oh, wrong way. Okay. So here is the bubble sheet I was talking about. So when you're reaching out to people to book them, you might think, oh, I'll remember that I need to reach back out to Susie Q. I promise you won't. Mainly because if you are doing like 10 booking attempts a day, I'm not going to remember those names. I know for a fact I'm not going to remember those names. So this bubble sheet is in our boards in the handouts folder. I don't necessarily follow the instructions at the top of the bubble sheet. I'll show you how I do mine. So I just did a fresh bubble sheet today. So coincidentally, so each name that I reach out to goes into one of these circles. Okay, let me zoom in on here for you. So each name goes into a circle. Now, again, I don't listen to the top, like to how they cross things out because I don't know. I just don't like it. So for me, if I hear back from that person, but I haven't booked them yet, I outline their circle in a highlighter. So just the circumference I color in with the highlighter. When I book them, I color in the circle. And then every time I make an additional reach out, because on average, it might take 5 reach outs to get this booking. So I will put like a little check mark next to their name. So if I see I have 3 check marks next to somebody, that means I did 3 follow-up attempts with that person, right? Because sometimes we just get busy, like, or my daughter will click my phone and click off all the notifications. So then I didn't even know a message came through. Has that happened to anybody else? Okay. Now, if somebody says no, thank you, then I do just cross off their name, tell them have a great day. I'm happy to be a resource in the future and move on. Okay. So I do personally like to track on a bubble sheet. If you're a notebook kind of girl and you like to just write things down in a row, it does not matter, but you do need to write these down somewhere because you are not going to remember and you want to track it. A tracked number grows. You're going to hear that a lot in your business. But doing like this part of the bubble sheet is pretty accurate. If you fill out a whole bubble sheet, so names and all of these different circles, these activities will get you to those positions. Okay. So if you're somebody who really wants to like earn a car, move up, the more bubble sheets, the better. Okay. And then here's just some screenshots out of the planner that I do use. No, I do not get paid to promote this planner. I just genuinely love it. It's from Court of Achievers and it's like beefy and meaty. And it has a lot of good stuff. They even kind of have a little day breakdown in there. It does have its own section for booking attempts. So if you're not a bubble sheet gal, this works too. So mine does have a little extra detail, like because I am a director, but I think this thing is just great. I love it. You can even write how many miles you put down in there, like what's your retail sales. There's just lots of good stuff. I really like it because it gives you like the month layout and then the day layouts too. I like to have both in mine. Oh, I'm losing papers. I also stuff a lot of papers. So like for me, I will literally just fold up my bubble sheet and stuff it in the month that I'm working on. So is it super, I don't know, scientific? No, I just keep it all together in one spot. So that works for me. Next, we're going to go through a weekly plan sheet. Okay. This is like, okay, you've made your list. Now when are you going to do it? Or like you have bookings, where are they going to go, sort of thing. So how I like to organize my time, let me zoom off on this for a hot sec, is for me, I will look at my month and I will box out in pink all the days that I'm going to hold Mary Kay appointments. So do I have people in all of these spots yet? No, but that is when I'm going to work. So you need to know when you're going to work, because when you're booking people, you don't want to just say like, oh, what works for you? No, you want to give them concrete, like A or B, and give them 2 choices of dates. Okay. So for me, I've got the days, I've got the times, and I like to box it in because for me, just aesthetically, it's easier to look at. Okay. So I have all my stuff in there. I do have like my virtual events, but I just kind of write them in. I don't box it in pink because for virtual events, I'm home, but I like to see like when are people coming here or when am I going? So that's why I box it out in pink. Then from there, you know, once you have your month planned out, like, okay, these are all the days I'm going to work, or these are the days I can't work because my kid has a doctor's appointment, or it's ballet day, or you're tutoring, or whatever, you know, you want to box out all of that stuff first. So then you can get a better idea of when you can work. Okay. Especially if you're someone with a really busy schedule, you need to pre-schedule your days that you're going to hold Mary Kay appointments ahead of time, or your month is just going to snowball you. Okay. So I book it ahead of time. My husband knows what days I'm working. Like He knows. I have a digital calendar from Skylight that I use on the wall, and he can look at it every day, every week, every month. He can see things I've got months out from now. Okay. So you want to let your family know, like, when are you working? And you need to know, when are you working? All right. So let me pull this sucker back up. Okay. So so once you know like all the days of the month that you're going to work, now you want to plan out your week. This is going to give you a little bit more detail. Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing, or I'm going to zoom out so I can edit this slide thing in real time. Okay, so when I'm looking at my week at a glance, you want to put in all the things that are like non-negotiable you have to do. So I'm just going to pretend like I'm back in my teaching grad school days for the sake of this video so we can see lots of colors and things happening. All right, so when I was teaching full-time, in this weekly plan sheet layout, if you go in boards and handouts, you'll see it in there. You can print as many out as you want. So this one happens to start on a Monday. So when I was teaching full-time, I would extend this out through the week, because here I know that I am at my regular JOB. From there, and so you want to physically color this in with any color. From there, then I'm going to pick another color. Here we go. Let's pick green. Doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. Then I was putting in like my master's classes. So I had class in the evenings on Tuesday, Thursday. I was at grad school. And then I liked to do a lot of work for my master's classes, like my homework and stuff, on Sundays. So anything that was green, I knew that was grad school. And, of course, this fluctuated each week based on if I had, an exam coming up, that sort of thing. Okay. Grad school. Okay. Then there was after school activities. So I need another box. There we go. Okay. So if I had stuff after school, I would just adjust those boxes accordingly for what days I had to stay after, later, because maybe I had running club or prom committee or whatever. So I extended the boxes where I needed to. Okay. Then if you've got like, maybe your daughter has dance class and maybe that's Wednesdays. You're going to put that in your kids' activities. If you have children, whatever they may be, just for giggles, we'll say your kids' activities are here and here. And then maybe you have church on Sundays. Let's pick another color. So each activity has a different color. So that way you can aesthetically see what it is you have going on. So let's say this is your church box. Meet church, whatever it is. Okay, the point of it is you want to color in all the things that are non-negotiable first, so then you can plan your Mary Kay time. Okay, actually I should change the kids' boxes to a different color because I want to use pink for Mary Kay. Okay, really, it doesn't matter. You're never graded on this. This is merely for you to save your sanity. Okay. So for me, once I could see all my white spots, Saturday mornings were a great time to work. I love working Saturday mornings. So that's my Mary Kay box there. Monday nights, we always had Mary Kay meetings. So I put that there. So then you can really see the times where like, this is going to be a party time. This is going to be a party time. Okay. I'll just put MK party. like you're whether it's in person or virtual, it does not matter. You can see I still have some white spots. So you can even plan, be like, you know what? I have a quick hour while dinner's being made that you can sneak in part of your 6 most important things list. Maybe this little hour right here is when you make those customer care calls, or even if it's 30 minutes, you'd be surprised how fast a phone call goes. Sometimes they might not answer, right? Because they got their own lives going on. All right. But the point is, you want to sneak in these little hour slots, whatever they may be for you, around in your calendar so that you know like when you're going to work on that 6 most important things list each day. And if you're somebody who is working your regular job, like maybe that just means you're tackling part of your list early before school. With your phone, you can, at least iPhone, you can actually schedule text messages out. So like the person will get it maybe at like 10 a.m., but you sent it at 6. They don't know. They're not getting it till a certain time. So you can schedule out text messages at any time. So if you needed to answer somebody back or do a quick customer care message, whatever it is, like you can schedule that ahead of time. Okay. So you can really do your 6 list at whatever time it sees fit. Maybe you're a night owl. I don't know. Okay. I'm a little bit of a night owl and not as much a morning person. All right. But the point is, each day you want to be able to make time to sneak in that 6 list. I used to do my 6 most important things list during my lunch half hour when I was at school. It only takes you a few minutes to eat a sandwich, right? So I would literally hide under my desk because if someone saw me at my desk, they would come in the room. So I would turn the lights off, I would close my door, and I hid under my desk, and I would work for that, 25 minutes on whatever it was on my 6 list that I could tackle in that little time frame. It could have been scheduling posts, whatever it happened to be. Okay, so you can kind of work the minutes even if you can't sit down for a full hour. But when you schedule it ahead of time like this, you're setting yourself up for so much more success because you've scheduled it. So like you're going to do it. If I just say, I'll get to it at some point today, all of a sudden it's 10:30 and I'm like, oh crap, like I got to go to bed, so schedule it in. This 6 most important things list, this weekly plan sheet, this is your lifeblood. Okay. You need to do this, especially if you're a busy woman, especially if you got kids' basketball games, dance class. And when you're like sitting there at practice, like they're just practicing. You can be scheduling text messages or making a quick phone call. It is okay. People do it. All right. So schedule your time. If you really want to move up in your business, doing 3 appointments a week, 3 sharing chats a week, like those Pearls conversations, and 300 in sales is going to get you so far. It's going to do so much for your family. All right. And I do like this weekly plan sheet because, you can track more of your sales and everything like that too. So, but if you get this planner, it's kind of like embedded in there. But, to each their own, figure out what works for you, but try something and stick with it for a few weeks. Okay. Don't just try it for one day and be like, wow, it didn't work. Try it for several weeks. Do a month of a habit, like do a month of weekly plan sheets, do a month of 6 most important things list, and see how organized and how much it grows your business. I promise if you do it and you follow it, you will be very, very satisfied. I really recommend, it doesn't have to be this planner, a paper planner. Yes, I do things digitally, but this book, baby, this is my lifeblood. Is this book. It keeps me sane. It keeps me organized. I do love my Skylight calendar that's digitally on my phone, on the wall, but nothing beats paper planner, people. Okay. I think that's it. Okay. So I hope this helped. Definitely shoot me a message if you're in my unit and tell me, you can even send me a picture of, you can box me or Facebook message me a picture of your 6 most important things list every day, or your weekly plan sheet each week. Like I love seeing that stuff. So you're not bothering me if you each night before you go to bed, send me that list. And then, the next day, show me all the things you got checked off of your list, right? At the beginning of the week on Sunday, like send me what your weekly plan sheet looks like. I love to see that stuff. So the more you communicate with me, the better. So thanks so much for watching. And again, these resources are in our unit boards. Have a great day.